Okay, here's the last thing I'm going to say about Katie Britt, and I'm going to say it because it's a very important lesson for us to internalize about the Republican Party as it is right now. So we know now, through some very good independent reporting, that Katie Britt was essentially lying. The center of her speech was a lie. She told a story about a real woman who had really been trafficked in a horrific way, but not in the United States, not anywhere near when President Biden was president or even vice president. It happened while George W. Bush was president, and it happened in central Mexico. So none of the actual real points of her story were true at all. But she doesn't care. She doesn't care. The Republican Party doesn't care because they understand that the point of the story was not that she actually cared about Carla or sex trafficking victims. They don't care. We know this. We know it through their legislation. We know through things like them all opposing the Violence Against Women Act that they don't care about women, right? But they need us to be afraid. Their sole tactic for getting voters is fear. Now, they are helped in this in that right-wing voters tend to, there are scientific studies on this, and I'm happy to send them to you, they tend to have more highly developed fear centers in their brains. No one knows if that's caused by the way they vote or if the way they vote is caused by the size of the thing in their brain, but it's true. So they know that their voters are prone to feeling afraid and threatened, and they fan those flames. But think about that. How sad is it that the only way Republicans, including Trump, very much Trump, can get your vote anymore is by scaring you. They scare you with, Katie Britt stories about Carla. They scare you by saying immigrants are coming up through the border and committing crimes, even though factually that's false. In fact, we know that the cities that are experiencing the greatest surge in migrants are seeing a drop in crime rate. Migrant caravan that was coming in, 2018, that was going to get us all. That didn't happen, but that didn't matter because it scared voters. Also, the ACA death panels didn't happen, but didn't matter, scared the voters. They're like a one-trick pony. Fear, fear, fear. If you're voting for Republicans, I urge you to ask yourself, how do I feel about being pulled around by my sort of fear impulses? What would it be like to look for politicians who instead ask me to imagine higher goods and work towards them? What if I stopped being manipulated all the time? And I know it's hard to get past the tribal thing, but when your tribe is simply trying to fire up your adrenaline all the time and your feeling of being threatened, even when you're not, that's not good for you. That's not good for you. And here's the thing, is that stoking fear is not a policy. Once Republicans have gotten you to vote for them by firing up your fear, lying, almost always, in order to do so, they walk away from you. Once they've gotten your vote, they don't care. They don't care whether you live or die, quite frankly. And we can see this by looking at the death rates in red states versus blue states. Literally higher death rates in the red states. They don't care. So your greatest fear is really being realized by voting for Republicans. So there's a great deal to be taken from this Katie Britt speech. They will lie to scare you. They will scare you because they have no other way of getting your votes. And once they get your vote, they will drop you like a hot coal. They don't care about you. And they don't care that Katie Britt lied either. They just care that she got caught. But it was a good opportunity for you to see what their real playbook is. Remember it and vote accordingly.